Alrighty, so today I'm gonna show you how to make this effect. Not that one, the kill feed on the wall. So strap in and get ready, because this is a DaVinci Resolve tutorial. Alrighty, so here we are. We got the blank clip. And guys, I'm sorry, I said I wasn't gonna yell anymore, but things have changed. Now look, the very first thing that we're going to do is actually take a screenshot of this right here, because we have the entire kill feed. And what better way to do that than going into Fusion, right clicking our image, and then save image. So let's open up that thing, drop it into your media pool, and then here we go. We're gonna take it, we're gonna drop it right above our video, and I'm gonna extend it out all the way so it matches. Obviously, we shouldn't see anything else because we have the kill feed in video track number 2. So highlight both your clips and then right click new Fusion clip. Go on into Fusion now. This is what we should see. It's kind of backwards because if we play our video, nothing's happening. It's because the kill feed is up top. If you look right here, foreground element, that's our kill feed. If we bring it into video track or in the second viewer window, you hit 1 on your keyboard, boom. You hit 2 on your keyboard for media in 1, boom. Okay, so we're just gonna relabel this. Hit F2 on your keyboard, and we're gonna label this kill feed. And then this one we're gonna label video. Yeah, organization, baby. Okay, but here's the thing. We actually don't want the kill feed connected to this at the moment. So just delete this merge node. And there. We don't need to see anything else. By the way, if you hit this button right up here, you can just make dual view, single view, boom, 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 boom. Alrighty. So the very first thing that we need to do is get a track of this wall. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes your track isn't gonna be good. So watch what happens here. We're gonna bring up the select tool page, planar tracker. We're gonna do this, set a reference time, hybrid point / area. We're gonna track forward and watch what ends up happening here. This track is gonna get all messed up. You see what happened? It exploded. This is not gonna, oh, it exploded again. This is not going to be a very good track, but there's a bit of a workaround we can do here. So I'm gonna reset this. There's a little arrow up here. It's reset, and the inspect, reset it, okay? I'm gonna go back over here, and what I'm gonna do in between video and planar tracker, I'm gonna bring up the select tool page, shift base, and I'm gonna type in sharpen. I don't think the free version of DaVinci Resolve has access to this sharpen node, so you could use the other sharpen node, but I'm gonna use this one. And we're gonna boost up that sharpness. And this is gonna give us a nice contrast here, making our track a little bit easier for our computer, okay? The next thing that we're gonna do is drop in a color corrector node. You can see it, it's right here in the hotbar. It's like this little flower thing. So drop that in right after the sharpen, and we're gonna boost up that contrast. And we're also gonna adjust the gain, the lift, just to add a bit more contrast. Now, here's the other thing too. I don't actually need any of the tracking data at the beginning, so it doesn't matter, right? Because we don't get a kill up until here, okay? So technically we don't need any tracking data before frame 118. So I'm gonna start on frame 118 for this track. And because we're gonna track this wall, I'm gonna do something like this. The reason why I'm not going back over here is because Phoenix is gonna appear right there and it's gonna mess up the track. So set my reference time. So our computer's like, hey, we gotta track stuff at frame 118. Then tracking type, our tracker, we're gonna change it from point to hybrid point / area. And the very next thing that we're gonna do is go over to our options, because at the very end, Cypher throws up his gun. We're gonna bring our trail length down to about 2, 1. We're gonna bring it down to 1, and this gets rid of any crazy tracking points that might appear. And now I'm going to track forward. And look at all of these tracking points that we have now. It's so much better. It's, oh! This is perfect. This is exactly what you want. I'm gonna hit go to go back to the very first frame, and I'm gonna track backwards just to have all that extra tracking data, because it can't hurt to have a little bit more.
Perfect.
Okay, so we can delete the sharpen and the color corrector. We don't need that anymore. Now, in our planar tracker, we technically could do everything with it, but that's not the point of nodes. Nodes allow you to see everything that you're doing without having to open up things, to go into things, to mess with different settings. So at the bottom of your planar tracker, there is a button, Create Planar Transform. You hit that. Oh, look, a planar transform node. What is this? It's all of your tracking data, okay? Because the planar tracker can do a lot more than just track. It can do other things. But this, the planar transform, is all of that sweet, juicy, precious tracking data. So delete the planar tracker. All right, boom, bada bing. What we're gonna do is take the output of the planar transform, connect it to our video node, and a merge automatically gets added. This is what we want. Now I'm gonna just scrub through because right here, this is where all those kills happen, and we want this frame to look good. This is the hero shot right here, okay? So with our kill feed, we are going to add a corner positioner. So hit Shift Space, bring up that select tool page and type in corner positioner. And now connect your corner positioner to the gold arrow of your planar transform. All right, so we have this crazy looking thing going on right here. Don't mind it. Just take your corner positioner and place the corners in the area where you want your kill feed to appear. Now, if you don't like how this is, just kind of in your way, you can just turn off that kill feed. Now we can just easily reposition our corner positioner to make it all nice and cornered. By the way, pro tip, what I like to do is I will use straight lines in the video as a guideline. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we can use this right here and this right here. So now we know that this angle is going to be perfectly 90 degrees. Line this one down here with this one, and then now this angle is 90, and this one should be 90. This one is going to be a little tricky because if we do this, now this isn't straight, so we have to move it over a little bit. Just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So if we turn back on this kill feed, we got the screenshot. We don't want the screenshot. We just want the kill feed. You know what? Hold up. I'm gonna move this over a little bit. Anyways, here's the thing. We just want the kill feeds. We don't want all of this mess going on here. So we're gonna drop in a polygon node. It's up here in our hotbar. Remember, if you hover over any of this stuff, DaVinci Resolve will tell you what it is. Polygon node. We want that. We're gonna connect it to the blue arrow. Remember, masking, baby. And you know what? It'd be a lot easier if we could actually see the kill feed. So I'm gonna select the kill feed, and then I'm gonna hit 2 on my keyboard, and nothing is gonna be there. And that's because the polygon node, we haven't created a mask. So if we just do this real quick, but that's not what we want. So I'm gonna reset this real quick. If we turn off the polygon node, bam, we can easily see what we're looking at. So what I'm gonna do is zoom in here and do a little masking right here. I'm just gonna outline this first kill, and it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be pretty good, but the more time you spend on it, the better, okay? Now, if we turn the polygon node back on, bam, we got a single kill. I'm gonna put a little space here, and then I'm gonna drop in a transform node. And with this, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna move this pivot over a little bit, so we got this X, and I'm gonna place it on the kill feed. And this way, when we scale it up, this way, when we scale it up, it scales right here. Because if we don't do that, you can see our kill feed just goes off like that. So if you move the pivot over and place it on your kill feed, it'll scale up the way you want it to scale up. And now I'm gonna go back to the output, boom, and adjust the transform node. Scaled it up in size, and then I'm gonna use the X and Y to reposition it somewhere where I want it, just closely. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we got 1 kill. But right here, we're supposed to, well, we're about to get 3, and this doesn't fix that problem. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to copy this right here. So highlight it, right click, copy, paste. And you know what, while we're at it, we're gonna rename kill feed. We're gonna name this one kill feed 1 and this one kill feed 2, because this is gonna be our second kill. And we're gonna connect the output of our transform to this right here. Whoop, I meant right here. So we get that merge node. And now if we go to, we bring this back in, Killfeed number 2, to our viewer window, and then we delete this polygon node, and then we add in a new polygon node, turn that polygon node off, and we zoom in here. We outline this second kill. You turn it back on. Ooh, look, we got that second kill feed, and watch what happens when we bring this into the media out, right? Bam, we got 2 kill feeds. So we're gonna do this for all 4 kills, and I'm actually going to reorganize this so it makes a little bit more sense in the future. So, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but something structured like this. And I'm actually gonna copy this, paste it, so everything is nicely formatted. Then I'm going to connect this to our main pipeline. By the way, if you hold left shift, left click, you can add it or unadd it to the pipelines. Now, before we move further, I actually missed a step. We don't know if this actually looks good, so it's always good to double check your work. So let's just play this real quick. Yeah, I mean, this looks great. This is exactly what we want. The track is nice. Okay, so we got the kill feed, we got the track. Now we gotta animate it because this, I mean, we don't get a kill up until right here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna find, actually, you know what? We're gonna turn off all these merges. So highlight all the merges, and then over here in your inspector, we can just turn them off. And we should just be left with the first kill. And this is gonna make things a lot easier just because we can only see the 1 kill. So find where you get the first kill, wherever that may be. Oops, hold on. Frame by frame, playback here. I'm just using my mouse. I guess you could use your arrow keys. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's the kill. I'm gonna move 1 frame back. Now in this transform, okay, I already have it where I want it. I just need it to slide in now. So I'm gonna add a center keyframe, and then I'm gonna just move forward a lot of frames. About there. You know what? When I get that second kill, it's different for every video, okay? But that's where I want it to end up, okay? So now I'm gonna use the arrow to jump back to that first keyframe that I made, and I'm gonna use my x-axis, and I'm just gonna slide this bad boy back here, okay? Past this wall. So now when we watch this back, watch what happens. Boom, it slides in. But that doesn't look good, okay? It's very linear, you know. We're at 100% speed and then 0% speed, and it kind of slides in too slow. So anyways, what we're gonna do is while we have this selected, transform 1, I'm going to hit the spline thingy tab, whatever it is, up at the top right-hand corner, and we got this. Yeah, this is just a whole lot of BS. What you wanna do, these 3 dots, you click that, show only selected tool. Now we only have that transform. So I'm gonna highlight that, and guess what? Nothing happens. We have to hit zoom to fit. I mean, like you could like scroll and find it, but why? Just hit zoom to fit, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is highlight just that last keyframe right here, and now we can mess with the graph. So I'm gonna just stretch it out, something like this, and just mess around with it until you get something you like. Ooh, yeah! So now we just have to do that with each of the kills. So I'm gonna turn merge 2 back on because this is gonna be my second kill. Find where we get it. Boom, move 1 frame back in that transform 1-1. I'm gonna add a center keyframe, move forward a lot of frames, and we're gonna add a keyframe here. Go back to that first one, slide it back. Then I'm gonna open up spline again while I have transform 1 selected. Highlight that last keyframe, stretch it out, something like this. Although I think this needs to zoom in a little bit quicker because we're about to get a whole chain of kills. And I'm gonna move on to the third kill. So merge 2_1, find where we get the next one, add another keyframe, go back, bring this over, and open up spline, zoom it out. I guess you don't have to, you know, open up spline every single time. You could leave it open, but I don't like doing that. And now we got kill number 4. That's our last one. We're going to do the same thing. Add a keyframe for our transform. Move it over 30 frames. What is that? Okay, so it should be at like 300. It's not an exact science, okay? Add another keyframe. Go back to that first one. Slide it over till we can't see it anymore. Because we're going to create a mask for this wall right here. And then we're gonna do that, and then it goes like this. So realistically, there's actually 2 parts to the masking because we have this wall, right, that we need to mask out. And then we also have the bodies. So we're gonna start with the wall because that's gonna be easy. It's the same thing as what we did with this. We gotta track the wall, and like I said earlier, sometimes you don't get a great track because computer dumb. So we're gonna add in but you know what? Probably should have just done this from the beginning. We're gonna add in a sharpen node. We should have left the sharpen node, the sharpen and the color corrector, so you don't have to do this again. By the way, let's turn off this merge because we don't need to see the track. And yeah, add in a color corrector, boost up that contrast, that gain, bring down the lift, bump up the gamma, and then shift space, planar tracker, and we're just gonna track this wall right here. Now I know that the gun is gonna cut off this area, so I'm just gonna try and avoid it a little bit. Just a nice loosey-goosey outline like so. Hybrid point/area, set your reference time, go to options, bring down your trail length to 1, and then track forward. Cool, we got a good track. Hit go, track backwards. Doesn't matter if this track is wacky, but it's great. Okay, create planar transform. Boom, we got it right here. Now we can actually delete all this stuff. And we're gonna connect it to the blue arrow of our merge. We're gonna turn this back on, and then we're gonna drop in a polygon node to connect to our planar transform. Now what we're going to do is, hey, outline this. Now this outline should be good. Really take your time with this outline because a good mask is critical here because this is where we really sell the effect. Oh no. You see what happened? Our outline, it's telling DaVinci Resolve, we only want the effect inside of the mask right here. That's not what we want. What we want! We want it on the outside! So in the polygon node, just hit invert. Yeah, there you go. Now we've inverted it, and it looks great. Just watch this back. Make sure the mask sticks nicely. It's looking great. I'm gonna actually like really zoom in here. Ooh. This is looking great, man. All right, so the next part of this is the other masks that we need to create, which is rotoing out all of the people, especially Cypher, because they're sitting below the kill feed right now, and this just looks goofy. Now, there's a few different ways that we could do this. If you wanted it to just work in Fusion, possibly the best way to do this is to make a copy of your make a copy of your video. You paste it over here, connect it to that merge, so that way we get another merge, and you see how everything disappeared? That's because we made a copy of the video. And then you create a polygon node, you mask the thing that you want cut out like this. I'm just gonna do something quick, and look, now we have Cypher cut out perfectly. I don't particularly like working like this though. Instead, what we're going to do is go back to edit. We're gonna hold Alt and left click, drag this into video track number 2. So we create a second video, go into Fusion, and then delete all of this. Now we have a clean plate, right? This is all nice. And what we can do is go into the color tab. We don't need galleries. We don't need to see the timeline, and we don't need to see the clips because we're working on the topmost clip. And what we can do here is outline mask things. If we go right here, your power window, this is where we can create masks. What we're going to use is this pen tool. I think it's curves actually. And we're gonna zoom in, then you can outline like this. By the way, if you want a more in-depth tutorial about rotoscoping, I have a video about that, and you can use any one of those techniques that I show. Now, here's the thing. This is great. We made a little outline, but nothing's happening right now. And that's because we need to create an alpha output. So right click on your grid, add alpha output, and then you connect the blue to the blue. Bam! Now there you go. We're seeing video track number 1. And this outline is video track number 2. And then what we would do is go over to the tracker, and we're gonna change this from clip to frame. And just like every couple of frames, what we're gonna do is just move this mask, something like this. Actually, you know what? I forgot. I didn't make a keyframe, but you can see like it tracks okay. Now, personally, me, I don't want to do that. And I have the studio version of DaVinci Resolve. So I'm going to use a little tool called Magic Mask, which is AI rotoscoping. You have access to it in the color tab. I actually prefer using it in Fusion. So I'm going to just reset all nodes and grades, and then I'm going to go over to Fusion. So I'm going to bring up the select tool page and type in Magic Mask. And now what I'm going to do is zoom in here, and I'm just going to outline Cypher just like that. Just a little line like this. It's going to do its thing. And then we got a pretty good outline. If you want a better outline, guess what? Change your mode from faster to better. Yeah! And then you just track forward. Alrighty, so once you have your rotoscope, you might as well just render it in place because you're not really gonna need to adjust it. So right click, render in place, leave the format as QuickTime, but change the codec from DNX HD to DNxHR. I mean, hypothetically, if you wanted everything in Fusion, we could delete this right here, our little rotoscope, okay? Delete that, go into Fusion, and then open up your media pool. There's a little rotoscope. So you drop it in, and then connect it after all your tracking stuff. So you get this merge, and guess what's about to happen? Nothing, because it's not right. You see, it plays the roto early, so we just got to match up that frame. So for me, it's at frame 124. So I'm going to go into media in 1. We're going to actually relabel this to roto, and I'm going to hold first frame from 0 to frame 124, and so we should have this where it's just the roto, frame 124, boom, they align, and now we have something nice. Actually on frame 124, in that merge, we're going to add a blend keyframe, go back 1 frame, and just bring the blend all the way down. So now we have this. Nice. Now I ran into a little bit of an issue where you see how this is all red. I don't know why, but if you just take that polygon node and you connect it to the mask of the planar transform, it fixes it. So anyways, why would we want to have the roto in the Fusion clip? Well, that's because we're going to do a little bit of compositing here, to make this look a little bit better. This is looking a little bland, and we can spice it up a little bit. I'm going to highlight all of this, and underneath our corner positioner, select tool page, drop shadow, the shadow strength, bring down the blur. Now we can drop down that blur distance and maybe change the angle of it. It looks a little bit better. Really, it looks better like right here, right? Flies in, we can see a shadow on it. So it's the little things. Looking good so far. But here's the thing. When Cypher steps in, it looks a little funky. So what we're gonna do is add a drop shadow for Cypher. So I think that's pretty good. But problem, we got shadow just in places where we don't want it. And it's actually a really simple fix. All you have to do, I like doing this, putting some space here so we can see what's going on, but that planar transform, we're gonna take the output of it, connect it to the mask of the drop shadow, and guess what? Bam! Problem solved. And now, like always, we're gonna add some motion blur to this. So after that merge, shift space, bring up the select tool page, type in optical flow, shift space once again, type in vector motion blur, and there you go. And this is what the end result should look like. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Goodbye!